Yep.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to Go Long, a show that focuses on local sports and faith, includes thought-provoking interviews with area coaches, players, and sports figures, unashamed Bible discussion, and the popular and entertaining WOYK scoreboard. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B.
Good morning.
Oh, doggy dog. Good morning, Becky B. Hey, thanks for being with us because we've got a dandy with us this morning. Troy Sowers, highly successful and distinguished basketball coach. You know, he recently announced he's stepping down as Eastern New York's head basketball coach. We also have Steve Klein, Susquehanna League secretary. You know, town team baseball is really unique to the York area. We're so fortunate to have it. And also, we have Megan Dorito, Southern York County native and a professional triathlete, currently ranked 53rd by the Professional Triathlete Association in the nation. An incredible athlete. My friends, is Paul addressed believers in Rome and explained his mission in the book of Romans, for I'm not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. Today, our Go Long topic is, what does the Bible say about having faith when being tested? My friends, throughout the week and during today's show, please text your prayer request to 717-350-8591. Becky B and I will pray for you throughout the week, and Becky B, as always, will close today's show in prayer. With us now, Coach Troy Sowers. Coach, thanks for being with us. Incredible news this week. When I saw it, I said, you know what, I got to chat with you. So, Coach, thanks for being with us.
Awesome to be with you, and I tell you, Wayne, you seem like you have like extra energy for your show today. You kind of got me excited just sitting here waiting to talk to you with all that energy. So let's get it done.
Yeah, a little giddy up, right? A little giddy up.
Big time,
Coach. I read the news. Tell us your thoughts as you step away. You know, your district champions this year, great season. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah. It got to be, after the season was finished and sort of towards the end of the season, my wife and I talked about, is this the time that I'm going to step away from teaching and retire? I'm 55 September 3rd, and I've done this for 32 years in the New York City School District, and I went back and forth weighing, my love of basketball, my love of my players, what we did this season, what we were trying to do, the fact that we, had a magical district run. We rode through Wrightsville, and I saw my guys like paraded through the town at 10:30 at night on that district championship night, and most of them told me it was the best season of their life. And so, sometimes, God's plan isn't straight. It very rarely is. And I decided that because I was retiring and I was uncertain of my new job September 4th, would I be willing to give the time and the time basically needed to get down to Eastern? I sacrificed this year. My 2-hour practices were all 4-hour practices due to the 45-minute travel time and the 15-minute before and after. And, I was willing to do that again, but without knowing what job I'll have and if I can have that time, I just didn't think it was fair to them. So I resigned in April and just put it in God's hands, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And, the York High job just reopened. And, I applied for that this morning. I think that it's 10 minutes from my house. It's basically my home. I graduated there, played there, coached there 10 seasons, taught there 32 years. It's my place of comfort when I walk into the gym. So we'll see if that's God's plan or not.
Well, thank you for giving so much to youth here in York County. I mean, 32 years teaching. I know personally how much energy it takes. The first 2 or 3 or 4 years, it's all new and all exciting and everything, but it gets tough year in, year out, giving the kind of energy you need to daily in the classroom and then going on to a gym to coach. So thank you so much, Troy, for all you have given to York County kids, and I certainly hope that there's more to come.
Thank you. And that is one prayer request. I probably won't text it in, but I heard Wayne say if you guys could pray that whatever God's plan is for me, if it's the York High job, I would appreciate that extra prayer.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, today our topic is being tested, having your faith tested. This might be one of those times for you, right, Coach?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was watching the message. I watched CLA on Sunday mornings here at 7:15 a.m., and the message was, don't worry. God's commandment is don't worry. It's not like it's saying, hey, don't worry. It's like you're commanded not to worry, and pray about it, and God provides. And maybe not initially in our time, but I've been able to really have more peace in my life, understanding that I'm not in control, and turn it over. And I would give that advice to anybody who's listening. It provides you with peace because there's always something you can worry about. If you're young, you worry about getting old. If you're old, you're worried about getting old. If you're healthy, you worry about getting sick. If you're sick, you worry about getting healthy. You can find worry anywhere, and I think that it helps me to be at peace.
It's amazing to me that sometimes when I hand things, I have to admit, Troy, I am stubborn. And, there's so many times that I think I have to take it on to myself. But when I finally get rid of the stubbornness and hand it over to God, it's amazing at how many times He has solved problems in an instant or quicker, and how there's even better things than what I ever imagined on the horizon.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's unbelievable. It's just as time goes by, it's sort of rinse and repeat. It just happens over and over. There's a worry, pray about it. It happens. There's a worry, pray about it, and I think the message today was, the hardest thing not to worry about is your kids, and I think that's probably you guys as well. You have your family, son and daughter, but you still have to just trust that God is going to keep them safe and give them good careers and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this is one thing I've learned over the years, and while being a successful basketball coach, you got to know your X's and the O's, but that's only a small part of it. It's the character, it's the values, it's the work ethic, it's the perseverance, it's the attention to detail. It's all those things that lead to success. And that's why so many large corporations, even small businesses, want people who have those characteristics. Today, my friends, we celebrate Coach Troy Sowers. He is all of that and more. And that's why he is a tremendously successful basketball coach, but that is also why he's even a better person. Coach Sowers, I know that you will be successful in any endeavor, any place you touch the court. But as Becky B stated, you also will have a tremendous influence on all the young men that you coach, wherever that is. So, Coach, we wish you the best. We will pray for you. We'll continue to pray for you. But, again, not just to win games, which you will do. That's going to happen, just because of the influence you have. So, Coach, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you being with us on Go Long.
Awesome, thank you. I have to give one quick shout out to my two granddaughters are visiting this weekend. They're 1 and 3, Sophie and Maya. They're downstairs sitting out in the patio, probably wondering how I'm talking out of the radio to them. But I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
All right, Coach Sowers.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All righty, Coach. Take care, bud.
Thank you.
Yep, bye-bye. Coach Troy Sowers, what a great opportunity to have him. All righty, friends, you know it. It's red hot, red hot. It's downtown Ollie Brown. Grab the mustard, because this is the Grand Salami of Sports Radio. Brought to you by Sports Radio, WOYK 98.9 FM, 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports, and our friend Kelsey Jean from Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. All right, then, you wanted it, you asked for it, you're going to get it. This is the WOYK scoreboard. Let's kick this off with American Legion Baseball. In the Go Long American Legion Baseball Game of the Week, Northeastern remained unbeaten and improved to 8-0 with a 4-0 win over the Circletown Boys of New Oxford.
On the hill for Northeastern was Quinn the Eskimo Schindler. Schindler twirled 6 shutout innings of one-hit ball, whiffing an even dozen along the way. If you do the math, that's striking out 12 of 18 of the batters that Schindler faced.
Still for unbeaten Northeastern, Nathan Moser with a perfect 3 for 3 at the dish, and Brant Johnson banged out a pair of hits, including a 2-bagger for New Oxford. Gavin Hafley threw 5 innings, giving up just 3 runs on 7 hits. Hafley also with New Oxford's only base hit as they fall to 4 wins, 3 losses on the season.
The Northeastern 9 then went on to blow out Shiloh on Friday by a score of 11-0 to improve to 9-0 for the season. In other American Legion games this week, Red Lion pounded Shiloh 12-3 as Connor Lawrence ripped a pair of hits, including a double. Lawrence also drove in 4 runs. Red Lions' Reagan Coons carried a big stick as he laced a double and a triple, and Jaden Taylor drove in a pair of runs with his base knock. Shiloh's Owen Jahimi, MJ Votero, and Spence Kroll, each with a pair of base hits in their loss.
The Snacktown Boys of Hanover improved their record to 4 wins, 3 losses with a 7-1 win over Dover. Tyler Hansford and Cohen Breitner combined to toss the 4-hitter, whiffing 6. The only Dover run to cross the plate was unearned. Colton Miller and Jackson Dell each with a pair of base knocks for the Snacktown Boys. For Dover, Leah McMahon found the outfield grass twice for a pair of base hits.
And here's a quick look at the American Legion baseball standings. Northeastern leading the pack at 9-0. New Oxford second at 7-3. Hanover at 3-2, and Shiloh at 3-6 for the year. Red Lion at 2-4, and Dover is still looking for their first win. They're 0-6.
Alrighty, moving on to the Susquehanna League hardball play in the Go Long Susquehanna League Game of the Week. The league-leading East Prospect Pistons played long ball and picked up a 5-3 moonshot kind of win over the Conrads.
Talk about a game of dingers
Ding,
for
ding.
the East Prospect Pistons. It was like a launching pad at the Conrads Field on Thursday. For the Pistons, going yard was Austin Denlinger, Ryan Fleury, and Caleb Storvent. Ryan Fleury and Austin Powers Denlinger, each with 2-run ding-dong, the witch is dead, dingers to lead the Pistons.
For East Prospect, Dylan Stoops twirled 5 stanzas, allowing just 2 runs, only one of them earned. Stoops giving up 5 hits and notching 7 strikeouts. Ricky, don't lose that number, Smith booked the save. Smith, in relief, tossed the final 2 innings.
Jonathan Carlham laced a pair of base hits and ribbies for the Conrads. The Windsor Cardinals pounded the Stewartstown Vets 11-1 in just 6 innings of play. It was the 10th win of the season for the Cardinals. Stewartstown, well, they're still looking for their first win, carrying that big goose egg around in their ball bag.
Goose egg getting heavy and big, too. Noah Beach and Zach Geddes teamed up on the mound to allow just 1 run, striking out an even dozen for the Windsor win. Geddes also went high and far as he mashed a tater in the bottom of the 5th. Connor DeWeese carried a hot stick as DeWeese ripped 3 base hits. Jason Krieger with sweet ribbies for the Cardinals.
York Township picked up win number 11 with a 7-1 win over the Jacobus Jackals. Talk about a day at the plate for Township. Philip Longenecker with a perfect 4-for-4 day at the dish, including 3 RBIs. Still for Township, Dean Davis with 3 base knocks and Jeffrey DeVinny with a pair of hits. On the mound for Township, Casey Markey twirled 5 frames and allowed just 1 run.
And in the Aunt Nellie, grab him by the ear, drag him out behind the woodshed. Oh, no, give him a good old-fashioned whooping game of the week. The Hellam Express jumped on the Felton Mad Dogs for 7 runs in the top of the 1st as Hellam wins in Felton 10-5 in just 5 innings of play. In the top of the 1st, bases jacked. Stepping up to the plate is Hellam's Parker Strayer. Here's the pitch. Strayer rips one. It's high. It's far. Kiss it goodbye. Parker Strayer strokes a bases jacked grand salami as Hellam jumps over Felton in the top of the 1st.
Still for Hellam, Alex Tucci twirled 5 shutout frames for the day, and Ethan Schimmel and Nathan Brown each with a pair of base hits.
All right, here's a quick look at the Susquehanna League standings. The Pistons of East Prospect lead it all. 13 wins, just 3 losses. Township, York Township, that is, 11-4. The Hellam Express, just a game back, a 9-4 record. Windsor, one game back in the loss column, I should say. The Windsor Cardinals, 9-6. The Coonrads from Bruinsville, that's really the Conrads, are 6-9. Jacobus Jackals, 4-10. Felton Mad Dogs are 2-14. Georgetown, yep. We already talked about that. Ooh, goose egg in the old ball bag. In the Go Log Central League Baseball Game of the Week, the league-leading Mechanicsburg Cardinals traveled to the Rock, paper, scissors, and played a game of Rochambeau all over Glen Rock as a full-time blend pounded the men from the Rock 13-3. Having a day at the plate for Mechanicsburg was Brady Ebert. Ebert lacing 3 base hits, driving in 2, and Dom Tazi also with 3 base knocks for the full-time men. Justin Anderson with a pair of hits for Glen Rock.
The Mount Wolf Wolves and the Stoverstown Tigers fought to a 6-6 tie in 8 innings. It was Stoverstown's Tyler Marley that drove in the tying run in the bottom of the 7th. The ball was jumping off the bats in this one. Having a pair of hits for Stoverstown was Ryan Jones, Harrison Knopp, and Levi Krause. For Mount Wolf, Miles Campbell was good with 3 hits. Nick Sprankle, Drew Sassaman, and Steve Poprick, each with a pair.
That Pokapek is a Mount Wolf name you need to know.
I guess so.
Pokapek is a baseball name at Mount Wolf.
All right. Well, they each had a pair of base hits.
They did.
Okay.
The Manchester Indians exploded for 7 runs in the top of the 6th to beat the Vikings 11-3 in Shiloh. Nathan Moser drove in 3, and Robbie Elzinger drove in a pair to lead Manchester. Andrew Fisher carried the lumber for the Vikings as he led with 3 base hits, including a 2-bagger.
Hey, let's go back to Mount Wolf. I'll tell you what you really need to know
Tell
about
me what
Mount
you
Wolf.
need to know, yeah.
They have the best water ice in any
All right.
of the
All right.
concession stands in the whole league.
Does it have a flavor named Pokapek?
I have no clue.
Right.
And the Pleasureville Hawks down the Jefferson Titans 5-1 in a game played at the Jefferson Carnival Grounds. On the hill with the pill for Pleasureville was Ryan Gordon. Gordon tossed a gem, allowing just 1 is the loneliness number on 3 hits. Gordon striking out 8 along the way. Pleasureville's Trey Shannonberger with 3 hits and a ribby to lead the Hawks, and Addison Clymer, Keeter Luta, and Isaiah Dull, each with 2 knocks and a ribby.
All right, here's a quick look at the Central League standings. Stoverstown, the Tigers, with a 9-2-1 record. Mechanicsburg, the Cardinals, 9-1. It's a tight race at the top of the Central League. Mount Wolf with a 7-3-1 record. Stoverstown and Mount Wolf tied earlier this week. Manchester 7-5. Pleasureville, the Hawks are 7-6. The Rock, our boys from Glen Rock, are 6-5, and Jefferson 6-8. You know, each week throughout the summer months, we are giving you a Central League or Susquehanna League record. It's fun to do that. Susquehanna League, total wins for a manager. All right, number 1 on that list is Brad Chambers. Many of you know Brad. I think he's actually vice president of the Susquehanna League right now. He has 392 wins and just 130 losses for a winning percentage of .751. 75% of the games that Brad Chambers has managed for York Township have been wins. They won championships in 1982, 1986, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, and 92. How about that run?
Well, that's a run.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Brad Chambers, all-time winning manager in the Susquehanna League. Now, second on that list is the guy. I got to mention this guy because many of you, if you're an old-timer, you remember Sterling Ecker of Stewartstown. Just a great manager. He had 362 wins, 208 losses, 63.5% winning percentage. But anyway, what I didn't know when I did a little research about Sterling Ecker, he actually played double-A ball for the Orioles in the International League. I know he played at Littlestown, then went on to play at Gettysburg for his college ball, but a minor league player as well, and then managed Stewartstown. Third on that list, Clint Workinger from the Conrads. Wouldn't surprise anybody, right?
Yeah.
You know, Pokapek's a name when you talk about Mount Wolf. Well, Workinger is a name when you talk about the Conrads. Rod Seitz, fourth on that list.
Well, Seitz a name that you talk about
Seitz
when
is
you
a
go
name, yes.
there.
At East Prospects, you know, Rod Seitz, he's a heck of a player, too. I played against him. He played at Seven Valleys, Jacobus, Columbia. And then also on that list for the Conrads, tells you the kind of the run they had, Bernard Bacon. Tremendous. One of the Bacons is a great name. Conrad's also the Conrad's Championship 1984. So it's fun to give that list. Number 1 on the list. All-time manager wins in the Susquehanna League. Brad Chambers, York Township.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, congratulations to Spring Grove's Ella Bond for placing second in the 400-meter hurdles at the 2024 Nike Outdoor National Track and Field Meet at the University of Oregon earlier in this week.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, she is the Pennsylvania State champion. She got gold in the 300-meter hurdles and two-time 300-meter hurdles state champion. She got gold in the high jump with a 5.7 jump, silver in the 100-meter hurdles, and then she was a two-time 100-meter hurdle state medalist.
Right,
just an amazing.
Yeah, high school national bowling championships week. Tell us a little bit about that please, this week. Yes.
The U.S. High School National Bowling Championships were held June 8th to 10th at the Leisure Lanes over in Lancaster. There were several York County teams that were representing their schools and had participants. Now, there were more than 50 teams from 25 states that participated in the competition. And after all of them rolling 8 games, there were 2 teams, Spring Grove and Dallastown from York County, that survived the initial cut to 16 teams in the team competition. Spring Grove was in 14th place and Dallastown in 8th place at that point. In the first survivor round, Spring Grove's team of Blaze Denny, Miles Garland, Ian Smith, Braden McFarland, Caden Beaverson, Landon Carl, and Griffin Stevens were eliminated. But Dallastown's team, including Josh Wolfram, Evan Plessinger, Mason Tausen, Brendan Smith, Connor Ebert, Cody Tempe, Zachary Peterman, and Luke Miller moved on in the competition. Unfortunately, in the following round, the Wildcats missed the top 4 by only 8 pins, so they ended up 5th in the nation.
Okay.
All right, and in the singles competition, York County had 3 girls qualify in the top 150 bowlers. Congratulations to Red Lions' Cameron Brenneman, who finished 64th, Red Lions' Kaylin Jones, who tallied a 39th place finish, and York Tech's Elia Hall was the top York County finisher, finishing in 18th place. In the boys' competition, York County was represented by 4 qualifiers in the top 150 bowlers in the nation: Dallastown's Mason Tausen and Cody Tempe. Spring Grove's Blaze Denny and Miles Garland were representing Spring Grove. And Blaze Denny rolled games of 181, 225, and 256 to advance into the top 40. His next game of 227 moved him to the top 10 bowlers in the nation. And although he rolled a 244 the following round, he didn't make the top 4. But congratulations to Blaze. 5th place in the nation.
That's great.
That's
National
amazing.
Bowling. Well done, Becky B. Thank
Absolutely. You. Now, we also had some golf this week. On June 18th, I guess they're getting away from the heat. The York County Junior Golf Association had their York Indoor Tournament at Cool Creek Golf Club. In the girls' red division, Gigi Marino cruised to a first-place finish, recording an 81 for the day. Annabelle Donovan finished next with 103, and Talea Weavers, 105, placed her in 3rd place. In the blue division for the men, the results were much closer. Ryan Hilliard finished first with a 75, and then Lucas Parks and Lala Sleeper were tied at just 1 stroke back with 76, and Nash Balsdorf recorded a 78. In the white tee division, results were also tight. First was Luke Hoffman with a 75, and Grady Hoffman then finished 1 stroke back with a 76. Colby Yo finished 3rd with an 80. Anthony Gracie shot a 79 for first in the green division, and then tied at 81 were Cole Miller and Ben Bowman. In the 9-hole division, TJ Emmerich and Matthew Schauer shot a 46, and Declan McMain was 3rd with a 49.
Very well done. Thanks for that reporting, Becky B. Hey, the York Revolution pulled off yet another thrilling comeback win last night, using a trio of 8th-inning homers to secure a 6-5 win over the Lancaster Stormers in front of 4,748 fans at Wellspan Park. The Revs are now 34 wins, 18 losses. They've won all 5 games on their current 9-game homestand and have lowered their magic number to just 3 to clinch a first-half title, leading the North Division by a franchise record 8 games with 11 games to play in the first half. Hey, the Revs will look on the sweep on Sunday afternoon today when Ethan Lindo faces lefty Max Green. That game time is 2 p.m. First pitch, jam-packed afternoon features pickleball day. Sunday Fun Day by Weiss Markets, Rookie Revs Character Meet and Greet, Crab Feast catered by Captain Bob's Crabs in the Home Run Patio, and the WellSpan Wellness Weekend Heart and Vascular. Wow. Tickets are on sale at YorkRevolution.com or 717-801-HITS, HITS. And you can buy them in person. Walk in and buy them at the Shipley Energy Ticket Office for the first place Revs. Get out and see them today, 2 o'clock, WellSpan Park. And if you can't, I encourage you to turn on this radio station, 98.9 FM, 1350 WOYK. Listen to dandy Daryl Henry will have that call today at 2 o'clock.
And the Hershey Bears rallied from a 2-1 deficit in the third period to earn a 3-2 victory over the Coachella Valley Firebirds in Game 5 of the 2024 Calder Cup Finals on late last night at Airshore Arena. The Bears now lead the best-of-7 series 3-2, and they'll have a chance to claim their 13th Calder Cup with a Game 6 victory on Monday night at the Giants Center. Go Bears!
Go Bears. My friends, it's time to go long. Today our topic is, what does the Bible say about having faith when your faith is being tested? I want to first read a couple verses from 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 7. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world. And then from the book of James chapter 1, verses 2 and 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So my friends, I'm sure there's been times when you've been tested, right? And it's not pleasant. In fact, it's hard. It's difficult, and it's sometimes it just goes on and on. But God does have a plan for us. He does want all of the children, all of His children, to succeed. And as God stated in the book of James, there, chapter 1 and verse 3, that testing is to produce perseverance for us, right? So, Becky B, what's your experience here? Has your faith been tested, and what did it mean?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I actually had during one of my quiet times this week, there was one of the little Bible studies that I do was talking about this actual topic, and there's a verse in the Bible that talks about when a silver is purified, it has to be in the fire, and that sometimes when we are in the fire, that it's our toughest times. And the lady who was doing the little Bible study said she actually sat down with a silversmith one time and watched him as he was purifying silver, and he had to hold it in the fire. And she had asked him, when do you know that it's long enough time? Because if the silver's in too long, it's ruined. And he says, well, it's pretty easy. It's when I can see my reflection in the silver. And on the Bible study, she went on to say that during some of her hardest times, that's when she really grows closer to God, because during that time, when you're praying without ceasing, when you're praying for a resolution of some sort, that's the time when God kind of picks you up and carries you through it. Yeah. And when you can actually draw closer to God, and God instructs us to pray all the time for the good and the bad, and during the good and the bad times. And sometimes I think during trial times is when we really realize how much mercy and grace we get through God, because that is the time that He gives us the most strength by carrying us through it. Yeah,
and I don't know if I'm weird or unusual, but I think sometimes...
I know you are.
Yeah. Right, so sometimes it feels like my faith is or I go to God more often when I'm being tested, right? When things aren't always going well. And I know that's not right, but maybe that's part of God's plan as well. I think being tested is part of us learning how to trust God and rely on Him, not just during bad times, but so that we can go to Him in good times as well, so that we know how to stand firm in our faith and be successful in that strong faith. The one thing I always find interesting in the book of James when it says, count it as joy when you are being given trials. And I don't know if we count it as joy, but I get the point. Is that testing does often lead to us wisdom and patience, and does strengthen our faith in God, right? Mm-hmm. So, my friends, I guess today, as we wrap this discussion up, and then Becky, be your thoughts too. But I think maybe let's think of that when we do face our trials and we do get tested, and we will. It's not if, it's when, and it's how often that we can. Know that and actually find joy in that, because we know that we will strengthen our faith as Christians in God. So maybe look at that adversity and just give it a little snicker, and just say, hey, this is going to make me stronger in my faith with Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take it to the Lord in prayer, that old hymn. Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere? Bless the Savior, still our refuge. Take it to the Lord in prayer.
All right, I like it. My friends, we'll be right back. Oh, we got Susquehanna League secretary. We're so fortunate to have this great town ball play. The Susquehanna League is just a tremendous historic league. They're going strong. We're going to talk with their league secretary, Steve Klein. Always fun to chat with Steve. We'll be right back after this message from the Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents.
Hey, WOIK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are homes sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over $16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors, or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield creeps in again.
The sounds of summer play here.
It's through. It's a base hit. Stott scores. Marsh being waved home. He's going to score, and the Phillies have just won it. Trey Turner plays the hero for the Phils.
Catch Phillies baseball right here on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK, York.
And welcome back to Go Long. With us now from the Susquehanna League, Steve Klein. Steve, thank you so much for being with us. Tell us how things are going so far this year.
Thanks for having me on. This year's pretty exciting. We've got East Prospect taking off here in first place with always strong York Township right behind them. And right there in third place, a couple games back, is Hellam, which is a nice surprise. They went young as far as age goes for the players, and they've really come on strong here at the beginning of the season. So it's pretty nice to see.
Steve, I always talk about how fortunate we are to have this men's league town team baseball. It brings unity to the towns. It brings unity to the players who compete against each other. And believe me, they're competing. I mean, they're gibbering, they're chatting, they're playing hard. They're fighting. But at the end of the game, they line up and shake hands, and they're enjoying each other, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's been around since 1950, and that says a lot. I guess next year will be 75 years. So
wow.
It says a lot for the league to be around, because you just don't see it. Every town had a team at one time. Lucky, the Brogue had a team. Yeah. Winterstown, that's what you did. And it's good to see that even in both leagues, Susquehanna and Central, that we still have a strong sense of town ball.
All right, now listen. You know, you're talking to a York County guy when he says the Brogue.
Well, hey, if I would have said Brogue, I would have never heard the end of it.
Right?
Because it is the Brogue.
One of the things I think is neat, and they've tried to do it in Major League Baseball, is they create, unusual baseball parks. And, I think the Susquehanna League is just chock full of neat playing fields, right?
Well, let's just start with Windsor. Every year we turn in the ground rules for each field, and we always have to ask, Nate, did they put up a new shed? Is there a new tree or a fence or cones or a spring, popped up anywhere? So, yeah, it's always neat to see the general and his ground rules down there at Windsor.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. When I played at Windsor back in the 80s, first of all, there was like a 3-foot field rock in front of third base. So you had to play up in front of the bag, or you couldn't take a chance of playing one off the rock. And honestly, one day we showed up there, left center field deep underneath the shade trees. If it rolled in the gopher hole, it was a ground rule double. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wonder what the gopher did with all the balls it collected.
If you dig, I'm sure they're down in there. Batting practice and game ball, yeah. And the game, the ground rule is probably a double, for the gopher hole.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, not only are the fields kind of traditional, but when you go to different ballparks, there are different people, the spectators. There's different spectators from every area that also bring an element to the game too, and it's always interesting to see that.
No, you're right. Becky B's right about that. I mean, Windsor spectators are different than township spectators, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. And knowledgeable, and it's good to see, back in the late 90s, you would go down to Felton and play, and there were just people lined both foul lines, and they knew, they weren't just casual fans. They knew the game, and they knew what was going on the field.
Oh, I go back 1976, where the ballpark on the Glen Rock Hill opened up, and we were playing Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury also had a team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They delivered every bleacher set there was at Susquehanna High School in the stadium. Came out to that game, and it was standing room only on July 4th for that game at Shrewsbury. We're not going to get that day back, but.
No.
But it's still great to get out and buy a hot dog and a soda for a couple bucks and watch a great game, right?
Absolutely. I think if you want to start talking about food at the ballparks, you got to have a crab cake at Felton. That is just
we're going there, Becky B.
All right.
But hey, one of the quirks of the league though is Felton is not allowed to play on Sundays, so you won't get one today. But any Felton home game, you got to try the crab cakes. They're going to really love me for pushing those. But
yeah.
I'm telling you, can't go wrong.
I haven't been down there since they changed ball fields. I'm not even sure I know where their new ball field is.
It's right behind the fire hall off of Main Street there in Felton. So it's real easy to find now.
Yeah, no, I played in the day where, a 220-foot fly ball would hit the right field creek,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only difference now is they put a 10-foot fence up to try to save some of those baseballs from Muddy Creek there. So.
Right. Well, let's get back to baseball. First of all, I go to the town team games, and I encourage people to get out and tell us where your website is, how people can get information on games, because you know what? Don't sit around on a summer evening. Get out and watch one of these games. It is talented baseball, outstanding baseball. Many of these guys, all-stars in high school, played college ball. Some of them played minor league baseball. They play hard. They play well. How can people find out about where and when games are, Coach?
Our league website is leaguelineup.com, Susquehanna League Baseball, and that's got everything and anything you want to know about the league, including some historical stuff on there, but complete schedules, game results, standings, you name it, it's on there. So we're constantly updating and putting new information out there.
do you have the menus of every concession stand on there too?
It's funny you say that. We did have the ground rules, so they were on there at one time. I got to go back and look and see if they're there. But menus, that might be something as a league officer I might have to do is go around all these and rate the hot dogs. What's your hot dog game like tonight?
Yeah. I'll tell you, the hot dogs in Glen Rock are good. I'm telling you, they are good. One of the things that started a few years back, and I guess it's more than a few, is interleague play, and I think that's added I think that's added a lot also, don't you think?
It's going to save town baseball in York County for sure. The fact that we can combine and play through not just like a weekend, where all the teams get together and play a round robin. It's throughout the season. It's scattered throughout, weeknights and weekends. I would hate to be Stewartstown going to Mechanicsburg on a Tuesday night, but right. That's the quirk of the schedule there. So, but I think it's making both leagues stronger, and it's helping each other.
Well, that you bring up a good point, though, is the commitment of these players and their families is incredible. To play a 30-40 game summer schedule after working a full day and rushing out to the ball game is it just shows their love of the game, right?
Yeah, it's something that you can still do. I mean, you can always golf or tennis or pickleball now, but when you're done, you still have that competitive fire. You can still, throw a baseball and swing a bat. This is the best place to do it.
And the thing then I'll stop. One of the other things I enjoy about it is, you go to a major league game and you're sitting there, and it's good. It's great baseball, obviously, and it's fun to watch. But what's unique is you hear the umpires talking to the players, and you hear the banter from the dugouts as they chatter. And every now and then it's a little gibbering back and forth to each other from one dugout to the other. I mean, you hear that. And you hear the sounds.
And you don't have to spend $100 to get into the game and have a hot dog,
right.
Nope. When they pass it, you can get away for it, for $5. A hot dog and a Coke, and then $1 and a hat when they pass it around the fifth inning. So, those teams really, they look forward to that.
It's just a wonderful night out, and it's just the sights and sounds of a summer ball game. It doesn't get better than that. So, Steve, we appreciate that. We celebrate Steve Klein, all you do for the Susquehanna League, and we celebrate just all the men who go out and just play hard every night out for the love of the game, and
their families who give up the time with them.
Yes. Whenever you hear a Hall of Fame speech, they always thank their wife, always, because of just the time commitment. It's we all know, we get it.
Throughout, I don't know if you knew this, Steve, but throughout the summer we're given a Susquehanna League or Central League stat. All-time leader today, all-time manager winning games, Brad Chambers from York Township. What a successful run he had, right, in the history of York Township baseball.
It's funny you mentioned that. I spent the beginning of this, because it was winter time, I was able to do it. I am updating a lot of historical stats, so they're going to be out on the website. So there's names on there that you haven't seen in years or thought about, guys that have been around the league that are kind of unrecognized, but yet there are the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. So yeah, that's going to be out there shortly. So it's very cool. Baseball is one of those games with numbers, and these numbers are really neat to see.
And I love sharing them with our fans and our folks who listen every week too. So thank you, Steve. One more time, I want to get out and see a game. Where do I go get the schedule of games on your website here?
LeagueLineup.com, Susquehanna League Baseball.
Alrighty, Steve Klein from the Susquehanna League. Steve, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Always fun chatting with you. We'll have you back on later in the summer.
Awesome, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Steve. All right, friends, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, Red Barn Home Decor. Then we have Megan Dorito, professional triathlete from Southern York County. We'll be right back after this.
Hey WOIK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are home sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over 16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
Welcome back to Go Long. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B. You know, we have a professional triathlete living in southern York County. She's ranked 53rd nationally as a triathlete by the Professional Triathlete Association. Tremendous young lady, right, Becky B?
Well, you know, young lady, Megan is now 42.
Oh, young lady, yes.
Yes, but we may remember her as Megan Freese when she was a standout swimmer at Susquehannock and then went on to Bucknell University where she did many great things. But yes, she is living in southern York County and doing great things still.
Welcome, Megan, to Go Long. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you guys today.
Alrighty. Oh, first of all, Megan, tell us about what you do. I mean, it's incredible, but just tell us about it.
Well, I do a lot of things, but I'm a mom to 2 kids. I'm an ER veterinarian, and I also am a pro triathlete, so I race professionally. So I have a lot of hats to fill, all of which I really love. So yeah.
All right. Well, you graduated from Susquehannock, so you're, local here to York County. Went on to Bucknell, where you did the 50 and 100-yard freestyle races.
Correct.
While you were there, you set meet, league, and national records and qualified for the NCAAs and the Olympic trials. And then, how does that equate with becoming a triathlon participant?
So, college for me, swimming was my life. It identified me. When I graduated, I kind of felt a little lost because I didn't know what was next. Because, in life, a lot of people are like, all right, you graduated, now you have to go work. Which I did. I met my husband in vet school, and he cycled for NC State. He was a mountain biker and a road cyclist. So he actually introduced me to cycling. And from there, I obviously had a love of swimming. And from there, I found triathlon, and I realized that there was more to just working after getting out of college. I did dabble in triathlon for a little bit after college, and then I actually took a break and had kids. I didn't do much of anything, and I kind of lost myself for a while because I was missing that part of me, sports. So I picked up my bike again, and I just started in 2018, and I never stopped since.
Now, how do you juggle, being a mom is a full-time job, being an ER vet is a full-time job, being a triathlete with all the training and everything is a full-time job. How do you juggle all of those 3 things?
I mean, I think it takes a lot of, one, planning. So you look at your week and you say, when am I working? What do my kids have? And what is my training program? I also think it takes a huge support group. My coach is super supportive. He knows I have kids that are in sports. My husband is incredible. Without him, I would not be able to do this at all. So we kind of juggle the week, and I just make it work. Some days I have to get up at 5 a.m. to get a workout done so that I can be done for my kids, to get them where they need to go. So it's kind of just knowing when I have to do stuff, and that's how it is, and I do it.
We're speaking with Megan Dorito, professional triathlete. I'm a professional eat. I don't know. I mean, I have. I'm professional at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Tell us about your training routine. During a daily routine and a weekly routine, Megan.
Okay. So my training hours vary depending on what race I'm prepping for. If I'm prepping for like a full Ironman, I'll be up at about 25 hours a week. So the days that I work usually is either 2 or 3 days. My work is fabulous. They give me a 2-hour lunch break, so I actually am able to go to the pool down the street and get a swim and a run in. So they allow me to get my workouts in. I wouldn't be able to do it if they didn't let me, which is great. So typically I'll run about 30 to 40 miles a week. I'll have about 5 bike workouts a week, and I'll swim 3 to 4 times a week. But again, that varies depending on what I'm training for.
I know Becky wants to talk to you about nutrition, but before that, walk through what a meet is like. I mean, I know it's just in crazy distances and preparation mentally, physically, but walk through what a regular meet is like for you.
Okay, so with an Ironman race, it's not just I just show up the day of the race. Usually the races are either international or in another state, so I actually fly out like 4 days before a race. It takes me that long to get my bike put back together if I fly. There's professional meetings that we have to attend on rules and regulations. There's check-in, and then there's bike drop-off. So we always drop off our bike the day before the race in transition. That way we don't have to worry about it the day of the race. So a typical meet would be like I wake up probably like 3 in the morning. I would eat 2 hours before the race start. I show up in transition. I set up my bike. I warm up. Usually with the professionals, we have the introduction and we have a group professional start in the swim. And then for an Ironman, it's for the next 9 to 10 hours, depending on how long it takes me. You start with a swim, you run into transition, you get your bike stuff, you bike for 112 miles, come back into transition, and then you run a marathon. So it's a long day.
Yeah.
That's a long year for me. Wow.
Now, in order to fuel your body for that kind of an endurance event, what do you do and how do you eat?
Well, on a regular basis, like a daily basis, I am whole foods, proteins, pretty much everything is handmade. I don't really do a lot of like packaged food or anything like that. Try to limit the sugars because I do get a lot of sugars during training, so I try to minimize that outside. As far as like during racing, they always say an Ironman has a 4th discipline, which is nutrition, and a lot of people will fall short on that 4th discipline, and that's when they have trouble completing the race because they just aren't on point with the amount of calories and carbs that their body needs. So I have it down to a science. It's taken me about 4 years to get it down. I am to the minute. I know, prior to swim, I will take something 30 minutes before. I'll sip on a carb drink all morning. The bike is strictly liquid nutrition for the next 5 to 5.5 hours. So I carry everything on my bike. And then the run is gels, dews. But aside from racing, it's just eating very healthy and very clean because your body needs it.
Now, you are kind of a mentor to your children because your children are also tremendous athletes. Swimmers, they also do kid triathlons. Tell me about how they participate in their training as well.
Yeah, so they are very dedicated athletes. They are on the USA swimming program up at York Aquatic. They swim 6 days a week. They also have triathlon practice twice a week. So our off days on Sunday ends up being triathlon practice. We travel a lot for meets for them to different states. They are very dedicated. They see what hard work does. They understand, that some days are harder than others, but they still show up. I say all you have to do is show up and give it what you got for that day. So they do, and they're both very talented. They'll be at Junior Olympics in a couple weeks. So I'm super proud of them. They're amazing.
Yeah, Southern York County native Megan Dorito, professional triathlete. Megan, we talked a little bit about the physical training and the aspect of it. Tell us a little bit about the mental preparation. How do you just mentally prepare yourself for that kind of grueling activity?
Yeah, I think I've just been doing it for so long that I know the feeling. When I show up to a race, I know this feeling, had this feeling before. I've overcome it, and they always say if you're not nervous or if you're not having apprehension, then you don't care. So when I have these feelings of my gut, I'm nervous, I know I care, I know I put in the work, I know I did the right thing. But as far as mentally with training, there are some days that are tough. You wake up, you're tired, and you have to adapt. And that's where my coach comes in, and we have a lot of communication, and I'll say, hey, I just don't mentally have it today. Let's back off. And we adapt day to day, and it's really helpful to have somebody that can, fill in and change things, sporadically.
All right. Well, you have a busy summer plan. Just give us a quick update on what are your goals for this summer and your participating events.
Okay. So I just raced Boulder, Colorado a couple weeks ago. Yesterday I had my first mountain bike race. In 3 weeks I'll be headed to Maryland for Xterra, which is like an off-road triathlon. I am scheduled at end of July to race Ironman Maine in the Pro Series. End of August, I am taking my kids to Victoria, BC for a swim camp with my coach. And then in September, I have a choice. I have qualified for Xterra World Championships in Italy, but I'm also registered to race Ironman Chattanooga, so I'll be doing one of them. I'm not sure yet. And then in November, we will be headed to Cozumel to race Ironman Cozumel.
Well, today on Go Long, we celebrate Megan Dorito, professional triathlete, one of our own. Megan, you do more than one day than most of us do in a couple years. So we're really proud of you and your success, but also just, I'll call it a level head, your ability to manage everything that you have going on with work and life and being a mother and all your training. And we're just really proud of you. We're happy for you. And we look forward to, we're gonna start reporting how Megan Dorito does in some of these events. It's impressive. It's incredible. So Megan, thanks for being with us on Go Long. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I love talking to you guys today.
What a great young lady, tremendous athlete, Megan Dorito, professional triathlete, one of her own from Southern York County.
And I ran back into Meg when she was volunteering at her children's elementary school.
Wow.
She gives back too.
Alrighty. My friends, I want to let you know how much Becky B and I appreciate you being with us every Sunday morning. Thank you so much as we celebrate the accomplishments of our local athletes and coaches and others involved in sports here locally, but also do it in a faith-based way. And again, we appreciate it very, very much. Just a reminder, you can text your prayer request to us weekly at 717-350-8591. And Becky B, as we close off each show, will lead us in prayer. So go ahead, Becky B.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time together, and we praise you and glorify you for the many, many wonders that you bless us with all the time. We just thank you for the many friends and the many people that touch us through the world of sports, and we ask your guidance with them. We just ask you, Lord, to be with Kinley and with Ireland and with Scott and Judy and Diane and Bud as they go through their tests this week, and ask your blessing on their health. We ask you, Lord, to give Troy the ability to see where his future leads him, and ask that you guide him in that way. We ask you for a friend who's going through a transition right now, and help her as she goes through that transition, and ask, Lord, that you be with Laura's family as they mourn the death of her father. We just ask you, Lord, to continue to guide us as we go through life, and especially, Lord, that when we're in trials, that you are carrying us through, and help us to know that through the trials that you present to us, that our faith will grow. Thank you, dear Lord, for all your many, many blessings in our lives, and we just praise you and glorify you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, we also ask that while we are being tested, and we know some are being tested right now, that we trust in you as our God and our Jesus Christ, and rely on you to help us through all those times of being tested. And now, my friends, the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all. Thank you to Kelsey Jean from Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. For Sports Radio 98.9 FM 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. I'm Wayne McCullough, and Becky B saying, go long.